never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Well, hello, beautiful people. How are you? I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. Weather hasn't been too shabby, been bloody cold, but it's been quite nice. But as I see, as Sunflower has alluded to in the chat today, beautiful blue skies today turned into shit milky. And that spraying started pretty early. I noticed on the coast and obviously had a couple of goes through at that stage. There was one recent one that pretty much went straight over the Gold Coast airport and over the Gold Coast and stopped out to sea. Can only figure they turned around, came back inland or disappeared off to New Zealand, wherever the hell their next dumping trip would be, the baskets. Anyway, that's a battle for another day. Sandy, first in the room tonight. God love you. I hope you and Baz are well, darling. And I'm sorry to hear the news that you've got a funeral to go to tomorrow. Another one of those fully jabbed individuals who unexpectedly passed away. So I'm very sorry that that's happening, but it is happening in communities all over the country. And is it waking any more people up? I'll say g'day to a few more people before I get into this. G'day to Daniel. He was second in house tonight. The lovely Aussie Sue. Marta. Hello, Marta. Good to have you back. I think you have been. You were on last week. I think I saw your name. Hello, Donna. Hope you are well, sweetheart. Yes, Sandy. Rachel. God, there's been some interesting things going on in your part of the world, girl. For those of you that aren't aware, and thank you to Susan who sent me an email about it, I've actually been following this today. None of you need to worry. Black Sheep lives at the other end of Tasmania. But there was a policeman shot dead in North Motton today. Now, North Motton is on the sort of northwest coast, if you like, of Tasmania, and I did a show at the North Motton Hall when I was in Tassie. Now, very dedicated bunch of individuals in North Motton. Hello and good evening to you all. I nearly mentioned a name there, but I shouldn't do that because, well, for obvious reasons. So early reports about the shooting of the police officer, apparently two police were entering or going on to a property, maybe not entering the property as such, the buildings as such, but have walked onto a property. They were both shot. One died at the scene. The other managed to get away, but is injured and getting medical attention. The gentleman who did the shooting has been arrested, and I'm just surprised that that he went so quietly is probably the big thing. But at the moment, it's only speculation, but it appears that the police might have been trying to serve a repossession notice or something like that, and it didn't go down very well. So that's one of the theories. I've actually heard another one as well. And no, it doesn't extend to anything quite as deep or as dark as Port Arthur. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that in the next few days. Michelle Bradley Smith, nice to have you in, darling. And the Berg. Oh, mate, what's going on? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, thank you to everybody who's reached out over the last few days. And thank you to Kathy and crew who I caught up with on Friday night in Jimboomba for the My Place Ainsley Bullion get-together there. Very interesting night. Obviously, I did a bit of a show from outside while the talks were going on, but I got to hang around before and after the show and caught up with quite a few people who turned up. So thank you very much. And Kathy had some just magnificent homegrown mandarins. So I took some of those home. Thank you very much. And we will catch up. And we're going to organise a bit of a lunch or a dinner somewhere. We might even do it out here in Canungra just for a change. And it'll be on a weekend. So Kathy's expressed her desire to maybe catch up there again. So we'll do that. It won't be this coming weekend. It might be the one after. We'll see if we can arrange it. So if you're in the southeast corner and You could combine the trip, if you like, come and have lunch. If you are experiencing the cold as we are, and you happen to have an open fire, or maybe you'd like to create one, then, hey, we can help you out with some firewood. So if you want in southeast Queensland and you want some cheap firewood, we'll come and help you out. When I say cheap, it's not going to be throwing out the door cheap, but it is probably going to be cheaper than you buy it anywhere else, because we have an awful lot of it. We've got to get rid of it. And I would prefer to help people out with it than set it on fire here, if you know what I mean. So if you need wood, you will have to come and get it. We have no way of delivering large amounts or large quantities. I know there was somebody who reached out to me and wanted, I think, 5 or 6 ton delivered to get their parents through all of winter. We can't deliver, unfortunately. So if you've got mates with trailers, bring them all. We'll fill them all up and send you on your merry way. But if you want anything from a bootload to a truckload, let us know. And it's good wood. It'll keep you warm. Trust me. I've had some fires going out here over the last few days, and sort of testing the wood, to be honest, just to make sure that it burned. And it does. And it burns hot. So good stuff. If you're looking for some wood, reach out, carl@vofhq.com. And you will not be disappointed. We'll do you a deal, so to speak. G'day Crunch and the lovely Aussie Sue. I think I said your name earlier. Ashu. I don't know whether to say a bless you or not. And did I miss a name? I probably missed a few names. Paul's there too. And yeah, I think I mentioned Daniel. All right. I've been agonizing over this all weekend. And if I'm honest, since before that. I am absolutely disgusted once again in the people that we look to who put themselves up as some of the loudest voices for constitutional solution in this country, who claim the various different things from, just very well researched and dedicated to, higher consciousness awareness and everything in between. Was the third Zoom together claim that it is 100% right or is in fact a whole solution. But he's been working on it for a long time in isolation with just a few others in consultation, as many others. Rod Cullerton I will mention as one. Dick Yardley is another. Ken Bartel is another. Now, all these people have a vested interest in whatever they've discovered, whatever they've researched. I understand that. The idea that Tim put forward 3 weeks ago was to bring everybody together in a collaborative manner with a view to being honest with each other, open with each other, putting everything on the table, and whether or not the best constitutional brains that we have on our side in the country could put their own ego, put their own greed, put their own selfishness to one side, and just for a minute view all the documents dispassionately with a view to seeing if a document could be made from all of them that was better than all of them by themselves. Now, a lofty goal, I'll admit. However, after speaking with Tim today, the result, particularly given what happened after the second meeting, and then in the third Zoom last Wednesday. Tim has made a bit of a decision going forward. So what happened last Wednesday? Well, last Wednesday, Tim had two things happen. He was introduced in an email chain, CC'd in an email chain that has later been termed private, CC'd in error. I'm not going to show those emails because I've been asked not to by Tim. Tim doesn't want to propagate this. He's spoken to the people involved, or at least one of them, and I will speak to this person involved. I've just had a bad day today. I couldn't get to it, but I will speak to him tomorrow. I'll ask some questions because I do have a lot of questions, as I'm sure a lot of you do. I mean, I'm being hassled by everybody from Kaz and Guru to, well, everybody, to release these emails. And it would be very easy for me to do. However, there are a lot of contextual issues that need to be taken into account. And these are why I have questions. If I were to release those emails to you here, or if I was to send them out behind the scenes to those people that are requesting them, including Keith from the custodians, we'll get to you shortly, I would be doing so and put the author in some reasonable amount of shit, because the emails are cramming if you read them in a certain light. Now, I want to make sure I'm reading them in the light that I believe they're written in, and if they're not written in that light, then I'm happy to be shown a question. It seems he's open to answering those. So more on that later. Found most interesting incident that was playing out behind the scenes, talking about splitting and skiving them off into another channel, another thought plane, another why would you a Zoom be participating as one of sort of the invited experts, one of the honored, revered, invited experts? Why would you organize your crew to come in and spam everyone with, come to, the custodian's website, join us, we know what we're doing, and well, what the hell? Why were you using it as an opportunity to grow your business? His website wouldn't allow me to get through the front page unless I wanted to pay money. That particular audience. I don't begrudge you doing marketing and whatnot in, well, practically anywhere else. But why would it be okay for the custodians to go spamming, directly targeting what was a unifying group brought together in a collaborative manner with honesty and openness at its core? Why would you think it's okay to come in and try and steal all those people over to your particular revenue funnel? There was no revenue funnel attached to what he was doing. There certainly is with the custodians. So I'm beyond disappointed that in a conversation I've had with Tim today, he's decided, and I can't disagree with him, that there is no point in going forward with what he is trying to do. There is no point in going forward with what he's trying to do. Because the other people who are trying to do something are greedy, selfish fucks who want to just take, and not share. Now, I can understand there may well be certain reasons not to share things. Vince is telling me I've got a bad connection. Let me see what I'm connected to. Oh, God, I can't do much. I'm connected to Starlink. And that's all there is at the moment. I'm just so disappointed that these people who have done a lot of work, and I understand they've done a lot of work, and I put Jackie involved with that. They get involved in these things. They claim to be saying and doing the right things, and yet it becomes a race to be first. You get a bit of a look at what everybody else is doing, and you think, oh, gee, they're further up the track, or I am, or I've got this better idea, or my idea is better, or what, and often you don't share that idea. Although Jackie's case, she did. What she didn't share was the timing of her release to the world. That, combined with the absolute disgusting behavior of the custodians, which I know there's lies being told there. I know it was a concerted effort. I know that the spamming was planned. So that goes to intent. So what was your intent in coming to Tim's meeting in the first place? Was it to actually contribute, or was it just to steal audience? Well, clearly it was stealing audience. So congratulations, you can have them. Tim doesn't want to do that anymore. Work will still go on in the background. It won't stop. It'll just have to go back into isolation again. And so all your cloistered little groups and all your little revenue funnels can rest easy for a little while, knowing that Tim's not trying to steal yours, but nor is he going to give you a platform anymore just to rort and belittle and degrade the entire concept of what he put together. I'm disgusted in you. Not that it matters if I'm disgusted or not to anybody, but how we talk of the freedom movement. Well, the freedom movement has devolved into a bowel movement. Congratulations to you all, you custodians of the fucking universe and others. Congratulations. Once again, publicly, you've managed to turn the freedom movement into a shit fight, a bowel movement. How are we ever, ever, ever going to get a solution if those of us who we revere for their knowledge and for their expertise and for their research and the years and time they've put into it have egos too big, have bank accounts too hungry for them to share what they know with us, in the hope that part of it, and we'll only be part of it, because if you actually held the fucking solution, we wouldn't be in this shit, right? You'd be out there. We'd be one or... No, we're all running around saying, oh, the custodians are having this win here and this win here, but they're not having wins exactly. Show me a win when there is a precedent. I understand there is movement, that's great, but no wins. Nothing we would call a win. Might call it a small advance now and again, but we wouldn't call it a win. So let's oversting what we do and what we have achieved, because all we've achieved now is turning the freedom movement into shit. I really hope you're happy with yourselves. The underhandedness, the deceitfulness, the open, well, in private talk, what looks to be open talk of stealing audience, diverting audience, and potentially something to do with our minds. We've got to get something put into our minds. I won't mention the something just yet because I'm not sure what that something is. It might be something good. I don't know. But I will find that out in the conversation I have tomorrow. People never cease to amaze me. I've been very fortunate to be amazed by some wonderful people, some generous people, some loving people. And I think I've let that blind me to think that that's where we are in the freedom movement. We're all like that. The fact of the matter is we're not. There are people here who are more focused on their $15 a month and increasing that income stream to the detriment of we the people trying to do something for us all. It's a great example of how we tear ourselves apart. To be infiltrated to tear ourselves apart, these people's egos do it. They don't need help. Ego will tear us apart every friggin' time. The only bloke who I've really met who's prepared to put it all on the table is Tim Dwyer. He's very committed and knows he doesn't have the full solution. He's honest enough to admit it. And he's not trying to pinch any part of your solution so he can claim any kind of right to the solution. He, like you should be, is asking for help to find the holes in it. And if you were any kind of men and women, you would want inquiring minds to pick holes in your constitution or your solution before you put it in front of we the people, where I can tell you a constitution written by one person for we the people isn't going to be accepted. Constitutions are written by the people, not by individuals. Yes, an individual's contribution might be used as a basis going forward, but we the people write the Constitution. And admittedly, there are many we the people incapable of stringing 3 words together. Luckily, most of them will have no interest in playing a role in that particular part of our history, because they'll be rolling with the flotsam and the jetsam of what's ever happened, reeling, because nobody told them it was coming. I mean, how do you feel about this? Tell me in the comments, because maybe I'm overreacting. And you're probably wondering why, because you only know half of what's going on, because I haven't told you the exact word and all that sort of the wording of everything that's going on. And I won't, because to do so could have very challenging repercussions for the people involved. And I don't want to be wrong. So why would you foist challenging conditions on somebody if you're not completely sure of what was actually said or the intent behind it? So that's why I'm not releasing the emails and those other documents. The custodians, on the other hand, well, there are no documents to release there. It's all evidence in the Zoom, and it's just sad. And I don't know how we get past it. We have to up. I know there's plenty of you in this right now that think, oh, well, that's just pathetic, and it is. But what do we do about it? These people have effectively stopped the best chance we've had of going forward in the last 4 years. Now, whether that was their intent or not, that is the result. They've been able to derail the process, in one case through greed, funneling more people to the website. And in the other case, well, maybe something darker, but maybe not. It is coming back, finally. Looks like the connection's really shitty, so I'll wrap this up. I think I've said everything I really want to say anyway. I had a couple of other bits and pieces I wanted to show you tonight. To be honest, I'm just so friggin' disgusted in a number of people. And I'm so saddened that we have lost this opportunity. And then I flip the coin and I think, well, let's look on the bright side. We now know what it looks like when you try and get groups together and we say there are infiltrators or there are splitters or there's ulterior motives. It's not a conspiracy theory. We've seen it in action. The 3 is able to set up. Is it back? Right. So I don't know. The freedom movement is now a bowel movement, as far as I'm We are all running in separate directions while trying to encourage those of us that might have $1 or $2 to spend it and come and join a website or buy a t-shirt or buy a hoodie or buy whatever. And you see, that's why I'm not a very good hoodie salesman. I'm just not. I'm more focused on fixing the problem, even though the hoodie is quite nice and warm and useful. But trust me, we're not going to be able to stay on the road through hoodie sales, right? For the little amount of money that we get out of a hoodie. We do need your help. And if we are going to make a change, then maybe I do have to be back out on the road talking to a lot more of these people and trying to hold people accountable, because I'm sick to death of good people putting forward genuine, honest, collaborative ideas only to have them derailed by usurpers, whether that be for, Masonic reasons or for pure profit. Stop profiting off we the people, and you might find we the people as a consciousness raise a bit higher, move a bit further. But when you go into collaborative meetings of 1,000 people, an audience you would be incapable of generating yourself, right? That's why we don't see too many people coming into my chat and putting up their ads for their shows, because the mods are all over it, usually. They only come in and do that because they can't generate their own audience. They come in and drag one out of wherever they can. So in Tim's case, he was the biggest audience going. An audience far bigger than any of them could have hoped to have generated themselves. And they see it as a mining operation, not an opportunity to help we the people. They see it as an opportunity to mine them for money. There might be a lot of dickheads on the road, folks. I've got another name for the people who are running who are turning the movement into a bowel movement. Might be a bit too polite to say it here. Have a nice night.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!